What's up, party people? John here. Just waiting on Justin, but I figured I could be here, answer some questions if you have any. I guess I could do some stuff. Um, Talk about some stuff we have coming up. Um, First, we will be at or right now. Todd is set up at Pulp Fest in Cranberry, which is kind of cool if you're into pulps. You're into the old noir style stuff. Um, I really loved like that old school sci-fi stuff, like John Carter of Mars, Deja Thoris. I'm a big Grace Burroughs fan on that end. But yeah, we had some of the guys, some of the vendors from there showed up at Cranberry last night, and we had a little barbecue out front. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, make sure you check that out sometime. Uh, if you have time, I guess, to go up to Cranberry and do that, it is a good time. Um, all right, give me 1 second. Justin's apparently having some problems getting the link, but I will send that to him again. Um, so yeah, and then this weekend, during the rest of the weekend, um, Justin and I will be at North Olmsted, Ohio, for Neo Comic Con. So Neo Comic Con's up in North Olmsted, Ohio. It's just west of Cleveland. It's right by the airport. It's a one-day comic show packed to the gills with awesome comic vendors, some creators. It's a lot of fun. We do the show every year, and we try to support our friends that do up there. It's run by the guys that run Comics or Go, so make sure you guys check that out. And there's Justin, who's apparently sitting on his floor, not in his chair. I don't know, or on a ball. I don't know.
I'm on my balance ball here, helping
Yeah.
my back out a little bit.
or or maybe you're sitting on Ember. No one knows. Who knows?
No, she won't let me do that kind of stuff.
So you ride her like Battle Cat? Come on.
She won't be down for that. No,
Um,
for some reason, Facebook didn't give me your thing, so I didn't know what was going on.
It's all good. I started early. I just was like, well, while we're waiting for Justin, I'll just go over the stuff we got coming up this weekend. And then next week, we're going to be at Dave and Buster's on Thursday for cosplay karaoke. It's our first one of this season, so make sure you check it out. The theme is Heroes and Villains. It starts at 6:30. It's $5 to watch and hang out. It's $5 more per song you sing. It all goes to charity for the Heroes Initiative. It is a lot of fun. We love this new venue. They love having us. I was just down there today talking to some of our contacts down there about making sure we have everything we need, like an extra server this time, and
Yeah,
some self-serve, better self-serve water, so they don't have to keep running back and forth with little pitchers. They're just going to have big, like pour yourself waters across the back on that table. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you guys come out and check that out. I'm going to have a lot of fun there. I've had a couple songs kind of like earworming lately, so I might just sing one of those. Because it's a lot of fun, and they're fun tunes to sing. So, yeah. So other than that, I guess, yeah. Trying to think if there's anything else that came into the stores. Not that I can think of. So, but Masters of the Universe is now on Prime. So if you've waited like a dummy and didn't see it in the theater like you should have, as it looked glorious on that big freaking screen, my friends.
it did.
Go check it out. You can watch it on Prime right now. I
I
watched it
think
with
it's
my
the
buddy.
It's the number one
Yeah,
thing on Prime right now.
it's been the number one thing on Prime for a week.
Yep.
So keep it going so that we can hopefully get a sequel. But I watched it last Sunday after I had a meeting that went on for like 5 or 6 hours. My buddy and I watched it, and he's a bigger Motu fan than Justin and I put together. And I mean that 100% sincerely. Like he today sent me a video of how Brian May ended up doing the yeah. I got Skeletors hanging out over here. So
Oh,
yeah.
I redid this. If you guys,
I know.
So
But anyway, we rewatched it, and he was like, he showed me a couple spoilers that I didn't even pick up on. Like there's one specific one that is it's some kind of it's a drawing of a villain that never actually became a real villain in the comics or the show or anything until this movie. Like, but they hit that deep into it. But they made a toy of it because they wanted to have that as a thing because everyone knew about it in the Motu universe. And it never got to see the light of day on the cartoon or the comic books, so they brought it into life on the movie, and I thought that was kind of cool. My favorite Easter egg that he told me that I didn't pay attention to was when when Randor is being circled by Skeletor's cronies at the beginning, and he's standing on that platform surrounded by all the big statues of all the kings. The floor of that is the map that used to come in the old toys of Eternia, right? And on that map is Merman's head by his area. And when there's a shot of Randor from above, you see Merman's face right there. He's also in another scene at the very end, but you gotta wait for that, and I'm not gonna spoil what that after scene spoiler was because we already did that earlier, but it's in one of those after scenes. Either way, like we had a blast watching it, and it was still good the third time I think for me, and like the 10th time for him. So he saw it in the theater 8 times I think. So
and that's saying something because it was not. He-Man was not in the theaters as much at all.
It was in the theaters up until the week before last, because he saw it in the theater one last time before it hit Amazon the next week. So it was kind of cool. So,
yeah.
But yeah, if you're into Masters, definitely check out the movie. I know Sora just watched it and she had a blast. Like I read her review on it, and it was fairly accurate to what I would say. So make sure you check that out. I don't know why people slept on that movie, but
I think there's just a lot of movies. It's just not a good time for movies. Period. You get like maybe one good movie out of the year now instead of it used to be you got the summer blockbusters and then you'd have something for the fall, something for the winter, something for the spring. Mm-hmm. It's not that way anymore. And I think it's rising prices of everything, hurts, when a bucket of popcorn is more expensive than a freaking hamburger and fries, we got issues.
Well, what I will say is, today I did see Spider-Man Brand New Day, and I'll do a spoiler-filled review at the end of the show. But He-Man is still my favorite movie of the summer so far, or favorite movie of the year so far, actually. But we'll talk about it after we do the comic reviews, because I don't want to put it up front.
The last 2 X-Men episodes too, because we didn't do an episode last week. We did an episode this week, so.
Yeah, both of those were great. I really liked the Polaris episode a lot. I thought that was very good. And kind of cool because you don't get a lot of love for Polaris much unless you watch the Gifted TV show. which
Or
actually
and
was very
Wolverine
good.
and the X-Men, she had a big part of that as well.
Yeah,
She was in the final couple seasons there. And
yeah,
it's definitely one of those characters. If you're a hardcore fan, Polaris has always been there.
hmm
But I think if you're not into X-Men or you're just getting into X-Men, she's very one of those underlining characters that it's, you got the main squad. She's kind of like the B, almost C squad, not power set wise, just saying in general, as far as
right.
notoriety and popularity, she's not up there yet. Now, I'm sure we're going to see a ton of Polaris cosplays within the next year now. I guarantee it. It's,
Yeah, but like the problem is that we don't really see her in like her normal outfit. We see her in the X Factor outfit, and then we see her in that like new X-Men era outfit,
yeah.
which I don't know that I actually like that,
I,
but
I I saw a lot of people kind of complaining about that. I was like, you have to remember they're trying to fit stuff from the 90s
yeah,
and that early and that late 90s into that early 2000s era. That was Grant Morrison era.
yeah.
That was his. That
I'm
was
just I'll be honest, I'm just waiting for Beak to show up at this point. And Phantom X. Phantom
I'm
X,
actually
our boy
surprised he
Phantom X
hasn't
has
shown
to.
up yet. I thought he would have been on part of
Well,
X.
well, they have to do like another. Don't they have to do another Phoenix storyline for him to
You got
show
to
up?
do another Phoenix. Yeah,
Yeah,
we even haven't even gotten seen Rachel Summers yet. Like there's certain
right.
characters that have to appear yet before other things start
Yeah,
appearing.
there's a lot of stuff that's still not quite there yet.
Yeah,
Like I'm waiting for um I'm waiting for the New Mutants to actually show up. Again, I'm waiting for, which we saw a little bit about, like Magic dying in this last episode.
hmm hmm
Um, and we didn't see. I want to see Generation X. That's who I really want to see.
Well,
I want
you
to see
see
Emma
some of
Frost.
them. You see some of
Right,
them.
but I want to see Emma Frost running like a freaking school
Yeah,
while this new X-Men thing's going off in the old Genosha where you did the X Corp thing, which I was
yeah.
like, really? You're doing X Corp already? Really? Like,
Well,
there's a lot of stuff being jumbled around here, but we're
yeah.
fine. Um,
But it's
but
still cohesive enough, and
yeah,
that's the nice thing is they're not straying so far that you're not recognizing what's going on. Like the last
right.
episode was Creed, Graydon Creed, our favorite mutant
Yeah,
hating, human, and
yeah.
I thought he was dead. To be
I
honest,
thought he was dead too. I was
the
like, didn't
last
he die a
episode.
long time ago? Like,
No, like the last time it was there, he was sent back into Canada by the Friends of the board of the Friends of Humanity, like
mhm.
the ones that covered their faces, and they pushed him off the plane into the woods of Canada where, surprise, surprise, Daddy was waiting for him. And that
Right.
was the end of the last time we saw Graydon Creed,
Yeah,
which I want to kind of find out how he got from how did you get away from Daddy to I'm running for president on the
right.
and speaker and part of Friends of Humanity again. What the heck? That's a little bit of an oversight. I would like to get rectified a little bit because holy heck.
Well, also like the are they going to ever fix the idea that Nightcrawler's parents, like he's like Sabretooth is not his actual dad? Like,
They might. It depends on how long the X-Men animated series universe lasts. We might get to that point. We might get a animated Krakoa era X-Men. I don't know how
well,
long that'll take, but
right now this is planned for 4 seasons.
yeah.
So,
So we that might be the end of the end of 4 seasons there. Like it's you don't know because Disney is flip-floppy constantly with Marvel stuff. And whatever doesn't make the money, they don't care. Like they just
well,
canceled Wonder Man today.
yeah. Yeah.
And they announced 6 months ago there was going to be a second season.
Yeah.
What changed in 6 months? Not that much.
My guess is where his place in the future of the MCU is. That's my guess. Um, so we'll
I think
see. We'll see.
I think they're still trying to clean up after the debacle of COVID that they did during COVID.
Well, I
And
mean, I don't think I wouldn't call it a debacle. I think it was a. The problem was that too much stuff came out too fast because they had a bunch of stuff either almost done or in the can already that they didn't want to release in the theater. So they had to hold off on some stuff, and then they just released a lot of it very rapidly. So it kind of diluted the hype, but it also lost the hype because we didn't have anything for like 2 years.
yeah,
So it's a very fine line, and they're just trying to get their momentum back. Which it might happen with Spider-Man because and this is the thing I'll say about it. One last thing I'll say about it before I do the spoilers later is, so when I bought my ticket, there were like 10 seats left in the theater, right? So I
okay.
bought my ticket. When I get there, there's probably 30 seats that no one's sitting in, including the two that were beside me, which were already bought when I bought my ticket.
Huh.
Yeah, so I don't know if people were buying them and scalping them,
I bet you
or
that's probably what they were doing.
yeah,
They, they,
or like they just forgot, or they bought them and then they couldn't make it. Like, I
I
don't know.
think it's probably the scalping. That seems to be the issue that we're currently dealing with in pop culture right now, in all aspects of all hobbies now, is
Yeah.
scalpers.
Hmm?
Like more so than ever before. Like it you had the spike during the beginning of the internet,
Right.
and since COVID, scalpers, like we dealt with it on the comic side of the hobby. It's toned down quite a bit. It's not nearly as bad as it once was.
Hmm.
But now they've moved on to TCGs and like videotapes, like
Yep.
physical media now. Like they're doing CDs now. I know there's people scalping CDs, which I find
Yeah.
hilarious. I was like, you do know you could go to CD Warehouse in Greensburg over there and get like soundtrack of Beavis and Butthead for like $2, right? You don't have to pay that 10.99 whatever someone's charging on Amazon for.
Right.
you know, but again, that's a different subject matter, but
Right.
I imagine that's what's been going on. People trying to make quick cash and try to
But yeah,
keep it that way.
it just felt weird to me to be like, man, like I would have loved to have sat in one of the seats that was empty, but I couldn't because they were already bought out. So,
Yeah, yeah.
like I said, I don't know what happened, but we'll talk about the movie after we do the books. So, but let's talk a little bit about San Diego announcements for
Oh,
like five
so
minutes.
much.
Um,
So much.
so so the biggest one is probably Ryan Gosling
As
as
Ghost Rider.
Ghost
Yeah.
Rider.
I did not
Um,
see that on my bingo card. I did not see him. Like he was
uh,
the last one. I was kind of like, huh. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, okay, I see it. I see it.
mhm,
I've mulled it over, and I'm like, okay, he's relatively young enough. He's handsome enough. Like I get it. The star power, the handsome, and then for him to, I want to see what the special effects are going to look like because I don't think they showed like anything like parts
no,
of the
they haven't
movie
even
or
started filming it yet. I don't
okay,
think.
so yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna hold reservations on like how the technical aspect is. Let's hope
yeah,
it's better than Spirit of Vengeance. Fingers crossed. Uh if they go back
yeah,
towards OG Ghost Rider, I'm cool with it.
yeah. That
Like,
was at least better than Spirit of
yeah,
Vengeance's were. Yeah,
yeah. At least you like I feel like that one was the better of the two that got put out. I mean,
yeah.
it's
I agree.
I get it. But yeah, that was definitely that. I did see
And then,
the what
go ahead.
the Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool in his X Force outfit. If you saw the video for that, that
Yeah, I saw that. That was kind of cool.
that was kind of fun. Yeah.
Um, we are getting a new Black Panther in 2028.
Yes.
Um,
Is it
so
his
which is going to
son,
be
right?
interesting because it's his son
Hmm.
who we saw in the last movie as like a 5-year-old kid, right?
Yeah.
Now, while that was like 3 years ago, that only put him at 8. This actor's like 30, so
Yeah.
uh, I'm assuming with Secret War we're going to age him up. That's how we're going to do it. We're going to combine those universes.
Mhm.
Um,
Probably.
that's my thought, right?
That's the only way
Because
to explain it. Like,
yeah, I mean, Doom War is going to start that, and then Secret Wars is going to fill it out. Um, but I really like this guy. Um, I had just watched The Long Walk, which is also a very great movie. It's a sort of horror suspenseful. It's a Stephen King movie. And it was really, really good. It's on HBO right now. I think it was HBO. But pretty sure it was HBO. Check it out. It is really, really good. Um, and that actor, you really get a sense of how he can be, which is kind of what I like. And I think he's a good cast. And then what else did we get? There was some Lord of the Rings stuff. Um,
yeah, they're doing more Lord of the Rings. Shocker.
and yeah, I think that was really it. Like,
Yeah, it's kind of they just kind of did a giant review of everything else. Like,
oh, Spaceballs, Spaceballs.
yes, yeah, we got to see Rick Moranis the first time in how many years in
I know, right?
and he
Well,
got standing ovation
did
and
you see the ridiculously long, like how the Marvel does like the timeline
yeah,
thing, like the ridiculously long Spaceballs timeline, which was amazingly hilarious.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
fucking hilarious.
it's hence the jokes, like,
Yeah,
you have to, you have to,
yeah. Oh, for sure, for sure.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
um,
But it was good to see that. Was it DC? There wasn't a lot because I think they just showed what all the stuff that they kind of already showed, like the
well,
Clayface.
there was a new Clayface trailer, a new Lanterns trailer,
Yeah,
which Lantern starts in like 3 weeks, and I'm super pumped.
yeah.
Um,
We're finally getting a John Stewart Green Lantern, which if I'm gonna
mhm.
go with Green Lanterns, the one that I kind of favor is John Stewart, just because of the animated series. I
I knew
love,
that's where you were going.
yeah.
Everyone who watched the freaking Justice League Unlimited, they're like, John Stewart? And I'm like, no, Hal Jordan. He's the better one.
I
Um,
But Hal Jordan wasn't in animated series. Just saying.
no, but they were in a bunch of animated movies together.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
which I watched a couple of those last week because I was like looking for stuff to watch, and it was good.
Yeah.
So,
But there was the extended preview for Batman Night. Uh, Night.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
But yeah,
I was excited for that because you got to see a little bit more of John Paul. And
hmm,
anytime I get to see more Azrael and John Paul, I'm excited.
right. Yeah, I mean it's definitely interesting because they seem to be leaning a little more into their like their animated again,
Which is
instead
good.
of yeah, which is good. And then the live action, the two live action things, but they're not movies.
Yeah.
Because the next thing they'll have come out movie wise, I think, is the Batman 2.
Yeah.
Um, then I don't know that they have anything else planned. Um, but so I was talking to somebody at Cranberry yesterday about Supergirl because we'd both seen it, and he said the thing that he did not like it about it the most was how much she swore. And I was like, Really? Not that she was like drunk the whole movie. He's like, no, it's that she swore like a sailor, and that's not how Supergirl is. And I was like, fair, that's fair. But
Yeah.
I just
But
thought it
if
was
you're
like the
drunk,
most.
if
I just
she's
was like, that's
drinking,
the weirdest freaking thing to say.
but like I see that, but if you're drinking all the time, you're gonna swear. Like I don't know any drunk that doesn't swear.
That's fair. You're not wrong. So I mean, I'm sober and I swear. So there you
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
Anyway, all right. Let's talk some comics. I am going to let you guys know though. I did not actually read single issues this week because there was only one issue that came out that I thought um, that I was gonna read, and Justin ended up reading it anyway. So
Oh,
I
sorry.
I read I read two graphic novels. So
Ooh,
so my graphic novels will be weaved in between
okay. All
your
right.
stuff here. So
Now, I think this is the end of it, which is really weird because it's only four issues of the Diablo, and
mm-hmm.
we didn't even have Diablo in it, which highly disappoints me. Um, this was just really odd and awkward storytelling. I could be wrong that this is not the end, but the way the book ended seemed very final to me. Um, we see several scenes in the beginning of the book of people doing like evil and like psychotic things, like people just stabbing people randomly. There's the scene. There's the medieval. Every medieval scene you see where someone has gold and they melt down the gold and pour it down the dude's throat. So Game of Thrones type of death. Um, there's even one scene where you see this dude getting pulled off of a ladder and then they eat him. So
Hmm.
there's cannibalization. Like it's you don't know what's going on in the very beginning. Um, Meanwhile, Vertrex, the Rogue, and Darius, the exiled warrior, are continuing the trek and like trail the tribe that Akarat has been like basically leading at this point. Um, and they get confronted by the tribe and they're not saying anything. They're just screaming and like trying to kill both of them. And Darius, of course, is heartbroken and he's like, I don't understand what's going on. He's like, I can't fight these people. It's my family. This is people who took care of me. And the rogue is like, you have to if you want to survive because they're trying to kill you. Uh, and they take care of them, unfortunately. Like they don't tie them up or anything. They literally kill them all. And this leads to the city where this all the horrible things were happening. Um, they get into town and there is Akarat talking to a group of people in the city, and Darius comes and he's like, I've come back, and he's like, I have seen the light because it's all about the light and this, that, and the other. And he points to Veritrex and or Vetrexia, sorry. He's like, she still doesn't believe and basically kind of threw her under the bus and she just shakes her head. She's like, you idiot. And the whole crowd like starts kind of ganging up on them. But Darius, like, he's starting to, you're seeing him being mind controlled or brainwashed, whatever you want to call it. And he's like, Akarat, I have seen the light and I will prove it to you. And they end up killing the rogue. So she's dead. Um, and Darius just sits there with a smile on his face, with tears of black blood coming out of his eyes. And then Next thing you know, we get a scene with Akarat sitting by himself at a fountain, talking to children and preaching to children, and that is the end of the book. So it was a really weird ending. Um, I'm assuming Akarat is Diablo or Baal or Mephisto or some demon of some sort in human skin, uh, but doesn't really show himself other than him being human. But the song that I chose for this was Judith by Perfect Circle, just because of the cult-like hysteria that was throughout this entire series. It seems to match that.
That's a definitely an interesting choice for that, but I'll take it. I'll accept it.
It was either that or Cult of Personality.
Oh, that would have been fun. All right. So my first trade is Death of Superman. Now, I will preface with, no, this is not the first time I've read this, but this is the first time I've read this in probably 20 years. Like the last time I read it, I'm pretty sure I was in college or right after college. And it's super weird because it doesn't, like, you know, I wanted to read it again after I watched Lois and Superman, or Superman Lois, because like one of the seasons he fights Doomsday, and it is there are definitely moments from this book that they use in the show. But it starts out with, you know, Doomsday is breaking out of a prison, and he's got the big green on him, and he's got one arm hooked behind his back, and he climbs out of the dirt because he's been buried in this hole for a long time. And then Superman, like it keeps going back and forth where Doomsday like kills a bird, Superman saves a kid. Like it's very interesting that the first Superman issue, because it's mostly kind of going like, what's Superman doing for right now? Like, what is he doing right now? And then how Doomsday kind of like picks up a tractor trailer that looks like Optimus Prime and like trashes it. And then it flips to Justice League America, which this is not the Batman Wonder Woman Justice League. This is one of my all-time favorite lineups, because this is the Justice League that started with Keith Giffen started. So this Justice League at this time is Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, Fire and Ice, Bloodwind, and Guy Gardner before he was Warrior, but after he's being a Green Lantern, but he's got like a weird sort of power ring. So the Justice League are called to go and look at this wreckage, right? So they go and they look at it, and they get back in Blue Beetle's like giant bug jet thing, and and Maxima's on this team. So Superman's being interviewed by Cat Grant while they're trying to look into this, and Doomsday like full on like catches a deer and just crushes him and kills it, and he laughs about it. And he whips the deer, or he whips this tree through the Justice League ship, and they're like, "Oh shit!" So they fall down out of the sky, and then they're fighting Doomsday in the middle of this road in Ohio, because of course Doomsday was buried in Ohio. And while Superman's doing this this thing, that's what's going on. So you see like Guy Gardner completely get his ass kicked. Blue Beetle's like unconscious, like he's like on his deathbed. Booster Gold only lives through parts of it because he has a force field. Then it goes into a Superman 74. And Maxima takes Blue Beetle to the hospital, while Ice and Guy Gardner get their butts kicked again by Doomsday, while this kid has a fight with his mom, and it all happens at his house. Superman finally shows up, and him and Bloodwind finally, or they're the ones that are really trying to fight him off. But in that fight, Doomsday gets his other arm loose, and most of his suit is starting to rip off. And there's just some classic moments in that fight. Then it goes into Adventures of Superman. It's also interesting to see like the different artists and how the art changes and the writing style from all these guys as it goes from one to the next to the next. But so it goes through that fight. It's mostly just a really long fight through this whole issue. My favorite part of this issue, though, is when Lois Lane breaks into the TV studio to yell at Jimmy Olsen to get on to come and like help him or help her do this thing, and he's shooting an episode of Turtle Boy, which is one of his alternate, when he had superpowers and mutated in the Golden Age into Turtle Boy. I thought that was hilarious. And then Supergirl, the Supergirl that's the Matrix, is with Alexander Luthor, who's Luthor Jr., basically, right? And I love Alexander Luthor because, and he came out of Final Crisis, but he has red hair and a red Amish beard. Like, he doesn't have a mustache. So I love it because it's like some crazy awesome hair for Luthor. So Superman and Maxima end up like trying to beat the crap out of Doomsday. They're getting their asses kicked. Guardian shows up. It goes into Action Comics with Guardian, and it's a giant fight where they break a Luthor Mart in half. And then eventually he's heading toward Metropolis. So Superman and him have a really big fight in the woods. Guardian's pretty much dead at this point, but not, because, no one really dies in DC. And then it goes into Man of Steel 19 for a even bigger brawl where Supergirl finally gets involved, and she gets hit so hard by Doomsday that she turns into her alien form and just, like, her alien shapeshifter form, and just falls to the ground. And it's like, oh, she wasn't really Supergirl? Fuck. So, then everybody, all the Artemis guys come out, or Argus guys come out and try to shoot him. That doesn't work. Then it goes into Superman 75, which is the final issue of the story arc, where they have, like, the biggest throwdown fight I've ever seen. Superman kisses Lois goodbye because he knows it's probably not going to happen. And they get into this kind of lock where, they're just getting pushed back and forth. And Doomsday's bones are actually ripping into Superman, which is the first time that's ever happened to him. And they basically, like, fight so hard that they both die. Is how this kind of works out at the end. Like, they've exhausted each other so much that they both die at the same time by being hit in the face at the same time by each of them. And then it just shows how everybody's crying about it. Like, Ma and Pa Kent, the Justice League, Lois holding him while Jimmy takes a picture. There's a couple pictures of that. And then there's this cool news time thing in the back that's like kind of talks about all the characters and stuff. It's like a fake news thing that they put together. This was a really cool thing to read because I haven't read this thing in like 20 years. But the only thing I didn't like about it was actually the death issue, because it wasn't really clear how they killed each other. But but it was very good. Like it looks great, but it's just kind of like, how did they both die? Like, what the fuck?
Well,
Um,
if you go by the animated movie, since it was based on the book and everything, the action scene when they were both beating the crap out of each other in the middle of Metropolis, like the impact of their punches was so great that they basically both broke each other's neck at the same time. It's the way
yeah, that's
that
kind of how it. Yeah, it just wasn't really drawn well enough to look
to
like
look like
that,
that.
but
Yeah, I think
but
that's what they meant.
yeah, that was kind of the impression I got. The bad thing was they never really explained to you what or who Doomsday was.
Yeah,
Um, so he's in like these 5 issues, and that's it ever,
yeah.
and but that's all we get. So it's like real weird.
We didn't
Um,
get an explanation until the animated series or the animated movies where they're like, oh, he was either an experiment by Lex Luthor using Superman DNA
hmm
that he got from Darkseid.
hmm
So hence he was a mixture of Superman's DNA with the Hell Demons from Darkseid.
mm,
Like
right.
that's where like the uh current lore is right now.
Okay.
Like at least animated universe wise.
Right. Um. Well. Anyway. Um. It was really good. I recommend people reading it if you've ever like. I remember the hype about this, like,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
was. This was what, 93, right?
91,
Um.
92, 93. Yeah.
Yeah, I was in eighth. Nope, I was in fourth grade when this happened. Um. It
So
was
I was
crazy.
in, I think I was
So
in sixth or seventh grade. But I
yeah.
remember like even the non-comic people were talking about this.
I
Like
remember it being on
my
the
parents
news.
talked
Yeah.
about this. Yeah, my parents were
hmm
talking about the death of Superman, and my parents were not comic people, but
hmm
they were Christopher Reeves fans because they watched all the Superman Christopher Reeve movies,
Yep.
and they're like they're like and this was like the first major death of like a major character
Yeah.
long like especially a marquee character like Superman. It
Right.
really was revolutionary for its time.
hmm
uh Now if they were smart they probably could have left him dead for like a year or so, but they didn't do that. They screwed
No, it was like a
around.
year. It was like a year.
Was it a year? Like I
hmm
felt like it was way sooner than that because like the return of Superman was shortly after that.
No,
Like
I want to say it was a year. I'll look it up while you do your next review, but
yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was a year.
because then they started doing well, which Superman is which? Because then you had the
Right.
Eradicator, you had the
Superboy, you had Steel. Yep,
Steel and
and then
Cyber
yeah,
Superman. Yeah,
yeah, Cyborg Superman. Yeah, and then it
Cyborg
ended up being
Superman.
Eradicator was the real one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, my song for this is kind of solemn. It is "The Sound of Silence." But I want the original Simon and Garfunkel version because the Disturbed version sucks. So
Ooh, ooh,
yeah,
ooh.
I don't like it. I think it sucks. So anyway, I'll look that up while you talk about Street Fighter and Valiant.
Okay, this one was kind of interesting. It caught my eye. I was kind of hoping it was more than just Bloodshot, but that maybe I have to like fingers crossed that we get a little bit more. Uh, but basically, Bloodshot is in a jungle in Shadaloo, and he was looking for, of course, tracking down the technology that made him because that's what he does. Uh, at the same time that he's going through the jungle, Cammy is also going through the jungle. Uh, and of course they meet, and it's a obligatory beating on each other for a little bit. She even takes a knife and stabs him right in the chest. And she's like, you should be dead. And he's like, well, I kind of not, because nanite technology. and and she's like, well, you must be Bloodshot then. And he's like, ah, okay. So they did a begrudging team up, and they find a lab in Shadaloo, where they're using the nanite technology in animals. So they run into a giant gorilla that's name is Agent White, and the gorilla has all the powers that Bloodshot basically has, but he is the strength of a gorilla. Um, Now, they were having a little bit of trouble with the gorilla, but because they were around technology, Bloodshot was able to use the nanite to short circuit and electrocute the gorilla. The gorilla runs to the scientist who's working on it. The scientist lasts about 2 seconds as he gets murdered by Vega, because we got to have like one of the baddies in there. Um, and then we get a battle between Cammy and the gorilla, and then Vega versus Bloodshot, which is actually pretty badass. Like the fight scene between Vega and Bloodshot is pretty good. Um, Even like the fight between Cammy and the gorilla was pretty awesome. They end up switching because Cammy can't beat on the gorilla because of the nanites keep regenerating it, and she can't handle that, but she can handle Vega. Um, so they switch, and Cammy just lays the beat down on Vega big time. Bloodshot ends up uh, jamming his fist into the gorilla and pulls the nanites out of the gorilla and turning the gorilla back to a normal gorilla. Um, and apparently, the gorilla was a female that had uh, a young offspring. So they end up like destroying the base and reuniting the gorilla with its young, and then they part ways. We do get a short story between Ninjak and Dulcine, which is actually kind of badass, uh, because Ninjak kind of shit talking Dulcine and just uh, knowing how to use yoga, but Dulcine's like, you don't know the power of yoga until you fight me. And it's kind of really awesome. It's actually almost better than the actual main story with Bloodshot and Cammy. But this was a fun book. Nice mashup of Street Fighter and the Valiant universe. I'm hoping that this isn't just like a one shot and they're not going to do anything else. I mean, we have yet to see Man of War. I I I want to see a give me a voodoo, please. A little bit of that. But I feel like this song is appropriate for this book since there was a lot of fight going on here. Uh, You're Going Down by the Sick Puppies. A very appropriate fight song that isn't Limp Bizkit break stuff, because that kept popping up, and I'm like, I am not putting Limp Bizkit on there this week. I will put Limp Bizkit on another book, but not this one.
Okay. So I looked up. It was 6 months between death
6
and
months.
return, so
Okay.
almost half a year. So we were both kind of like, you thought it was 3 months. I thought it was a year. So we're in the middle.
We're
So
in the middle. Yeah.
yeah, not
Because it
bad.
seemed like really short of his death.
Well, it was interesting because they did Funeral for a Friend for a couple months, like 2 months, and then they did like 3 months, 3 or 4 months of Reign of Superman, and that was where, in the middle of that, is where he comes back and he's wearing the black suit, like the black and white suit. Um, but it's
Which
still super
actually I kind of like
convoluted.
that look. I like
I
that
did
look
too.
on
Yeah,
him.
yeah. So, all right. My next graphic novel I did was Naomi season 1. So as you guys know, I was watching Naomi, the TV show. This book is, for the most part, like a very abridged version of that season. It does go pretty fairly true with the TV show as well. This obviously came out first. It starts off with Naomi and a bunch of her friends. You kind of get to know a bunch of her friends. A big Superman fight shows up. She is like a giant Superman fan, and she's like, what is like trying to figure out why Superman's never been into Oregon. And while all this is going on, she ends up like seeing her therapist and is like, something's just not quite right. So she how does this work out? So she ends up like trying to look into the Superman thing more. Realizes that the guy who runs the mechanic shop, or like the mechanic in town, versus the version of him in the TV show, he had a tattoo shop in the TV show. His name's D. He's a Thanagarian. He looks way more badass in the book than he does on the TV show. And she's like, something's not right. I think he's not lying, or he's lying to me. So she thinks that he's her dad, and like this whole adventure ensues where she ends up having to go figure that out. She confronts him, and he tells her basically like, nope, I'm an alien, and that picture you see, that's actually my wife, not your mom. And they were Thanagarians, and they ended up being in refuge on Earth. And as he finishes that story, her adoptive parents are like, nope, we need to show you something. So they take her out to the woods, and in the show, they show her where they found her, which is like a rock. In this, they take her to this cave, and you find out that her dad is actually from Ran, which is where Adam Strange is from, and he keeps, like, throughout the whole book, he keeps saying, after that, he's like, I knew Adam Strange, he's a good dude, like we're friends, like, it's just, like, a really funny, like, name drop the whole time. So you get a little backdrop of him, and how he came to Earth and then fell in love with her mom, and, he found Dee, and they, both agreed to, like, just kind of be in exile together, because neither of them were fighting really or doing anything bad, and they were having a fight because a portal opened up and two people popped through, and they fought them, and as they fought them, one of them dropped a baby, so he takes the baby back, and they adopt her, and she's like, what the hell, this is crazy, and this little cube thing that came with her, he gives it to her, so it was under the seat, and it powers her up for the first time, and in doing so, like, sends a beacon to her Earth, because she's from another Earth. And you find out that the people on that Earth, like her mom, her birth mother speaks to her through this little box thing. And you find out that on her Earth, this, like, the ozone layer basically got depleted, and this thing they just called the crisis happened, and 29 people on the planet all of a sudden had superpowers like gods, including Zimbadu, who he, like, kind of makes the planet almost uninhabitable anymore. So they send their baby, because she's the first baby born to two people with powers, off to another Earth under the protection of Akira. And at some point, Zambadu comes over and takes her back to that Earth, um, where Dee and her parents are like, "Oh crap, we need to go get her back," and she ends up actually fighting Zambadu and coming back to Earth, um, and kind of trapping him in there, which was kind of cool. Like the way their fight scene went down. The art in this book is absolutely fantastic. I honestly don't know that I would have read it the whole way through in singles, but the show I really enjoyed, so therefore I gave the book the trade a try. And I will say, in trade form, it actually works out pretty good. Um, so if you guys are into the CW shows, if you like Bendis stuff, it's very much so a Brian Bendis book. Um, Definitely check it out. I'm gonna give this. Oh man. Um, oh, I had something earlier and I forgot the hell what it was. Um, I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Judas Priest Painkiller because it's just it's so crazy, just like that is. Like, it works out well. So, but yeah, check it out.
All right. Speaking of Masters Universe, this number two. No, where the last number one left off with basically just kind of Orko helping the sorceress, and this is all before like Skeletor's
This is a
even.
prelude to
Yeah,
the movie, right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's what it feels like. So basically, we see Orko trying to save this little blue dude, this little blue creature that's surrounded by a bunch of manticores. Uh, he saves them. So it's this little blue creature, Orko, and the sorceress are just in the Mystic Mountains, trying to find a way to Castle Grayskull, I imagine. And they end up hiding and trekking through the mountains. They finally find a ship lying around, and they go on there, and it ends up being Man at Arms ship with a child, uh, Tila. And I mean, she's probably like 12 years old. Like, she doesn't seem like she's quite a woman yet. Um, and they're sitting there waiting for them to prep the ship, and then they were going to get a ride. Well, here comes a the horn demon there that you see on the cover there. You don't see a name on him, and I don't even remember this character's name. I think he's just a nameless thug with horns. Uh, he gets on the ship and he starts attacking. Man at Arms tells Tila to start the ship. Man at Arms like beats on this demon's butt, kicks him off the ship. But as that happens, Orca and the sorceress also slip off the ship because they didn't want to cause any more problems or get caught by this demon. So the ship goes off and they're back on foot again. Well, just when they think they're in the clear, they run into Beastman, who chases them through the mountains. Uh, but they set a trap for him as he comes into contact with the manticores. For some reason, he can't control the manticores. So he gets ganged up on by a bunch of manticores as Orko, the sorceress, and the little dude find a little cave and hunker down and try to rest, uh, because the sorceress is still drained. Um, You see at the end the red demon returns to Snake Mountain, uh, and they talk to Evil Lynn, and we see Evil Lynn looking into her crystal ball, and you see the uh, image of the sorceress in her hawk form, resting, and Evelyn's like, "I will find you," and that's pretty much the end of the book. Again, it was not very like super action packed. It was very like I want to say it was almost kind of very Lord of the Rings, where Orko's like dipping and hiding and you know doing these like little spells for diversions and running away. This is basically the whole gist of the book. Uh, which not necessarily bad. It's world building, but still want to get the gist of it. Still no Skeletor yet. No He-Man. No, not like this was the first like master of the universe that we see really as Man at Arms. Uh, but because Orko was the underdog hero of the book so far, I chose Jukebox Hero by Foreigner as my song.
Wow.
It's
a deep cut.
Well, it was either that or
fine.
Eye of the Tiger, and I don't think that was very appropriate unless
No.
you know.
All right. Okay, so now it's going to be spoiler time. So if you have you don't want to hear this, you don't want to hear us talk about it, now's your time to pause it, save it for later. Remember to shop at your local comic shop and maybe buy some books there while you're out and about. But now I'm going to do some spoilers for Brave New World Brand New Day. Brave New World, Jesus. I had Iron Maiden on the brain. So I guess Justin, what would you like to know about this movie?
I'm gonna ask the question: is Jean Grey the bad guy in this whole thing? Like pretty much. I'm assuming, but
yes and no. Like she's she is, but she's doing it for a specific reason, not just to be evil, right?
okay.
But I really don't know that I like the storyline for her that they made in this movie. Basically, she's trying to find her older sister, who's also a telepath named Sarah, and like her whole thing is she's trying to break into Cadmus, or not Cadmus. She's trying to break into damage control because that's where she was last seen. Like they picked her up, so she's using anything she can to get into damage control, right? I don't know that I like how that story played out. Like I wasn't really a fan of how that worked out, but it the end of it like triggered her powers to be more than just regular telepathy. So that was cool, but like overall, like this movie has a lot has a lot going on, and the payoff's not real great at the end, in my opinion.
That seems to be the consensus that I saw on the internet. So,
but I will also tell you that Ari at the Waterfront saw it and she loved it.
okay.
So I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. Right? I liked it. I just didn't love it. I didn't really think the Punisher was needed in this movie at all, except for the fact that they dedicated it to Jerry Conway and he created the Punisher, so that was cool. Like the Hulk is used to try to get into damage control, and then do the inhibitor thing. Like so him being in there is like very tiny, but he doesn't really do anything except go, yeah, I built this inhibitor. Oh, why would you want to inhibit this thing? Oh, darn, I'm being mind controlled now. I'm turned into the Hulk. Crap. Like, did anybody get hurt? Like, that's kind of what he did the whole time.
Yeah.
And
Like typical Bruce Banner.
yeah, and there's parts of this movie that I'm like, didn't they just do a whole movie to make this thing not happen? To do this part, why are you what are you doing so fast? Like what, there are some flashbacks with Aunt May, which is nice. But it takes place like after they've all graduated college. So he's at this point a grad student at ESU. But MJ and Ned have graduated and they live in an apartment together in Manhattan, or out in Queens or something. Yeah. So give me more questions. Come on. This is the fun part.
Do we get any like cool like Marvel extras at the credits? The usual.
There's the after scene is just a tie-in for Secret War.
Okay.
Yeah. Not even Doom, just Secret War.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's, like I told you, I'm not a Spider-Man guy.
Me either. Yeah.
Well, I should say I'm not a Peter Parker Spider-Man guy.
Right. I'm a Ben Reilly guy.
I like Spider-Punk. I like Superior Spider-Man because of the fact he is so different from Peter Parker. That I can relate to that. Like I think Peter Parker has been played out to the point of annoyance for me. So making another Peter Parker Spider-Man, I'm like, I'm getting a headache and I would have rather of them put full force into Sony and making another Miles Morales movie would have been better. My opinion, it would have been better. Because those to be fair are been the better Spider-Man movies.
Okay.
So far.
So I'll be honest. I think the only one of these I really liked was the second one, like the Mysterio one, and it's because I love Mysterio so much. But it also didn't rely on Iron Man, and it didn't rely on the previous Spider-Man to come in to save, like to do that, right?
Yeah.
And then this movie, you have Punisher, you have Hulk, you have Jean Grey. You also have Black Widow, but it's Yolanda Black Widow because she's running the new Avengers, and she's still just as fucking weird and hilarious as she normally is. Because like he meets her in her office, and her office is like a fucking bathhouse, so she's like in like a hot spring pool, right? And she's like, oh no, you got to take the suit off and come in if you want to talk to me. This is my office, my rules. So he's like, okay. So he like strips down to his underwear and the mask, and he just gets in the pool like that. And I was like, okay. So there were some funny moments, and there were some moments that were kind of cool, but like the ending though was just such a weird payoff because like the villain really wasn't defeated at all because like you just see Jean getting on a bus and driving away, right? But it's just very. I don't even know how to really describe it. Like I just felt let down at the end because there wasn't like a big finish, right? Like the first two movies had the best endings, like when he ended up accidentally killing the Vulture, and then or he imprisons the Vulture. And then you see in the next one, like the death of Mysterio, but then all the fallout that happens from that. But it's just a very big letdown to me. Like I was just like it almost was like twofold. So the letdown of villain gets away, and the letdown of you had all this stuff going on. And it really didn't.
There was no
payoff. There was no payoff. Only one of those things did you actually focus on, right? I read somewhere that it was like Hulk was going to be his mentor. No. Punisher actually ends up being slightly more of a mentor to him in this, and then he becomes a mentor to Jean Grey, which is interesting. Like it's a very weird and fucked up thing, and then they still continue the friendship thing with him and Ned and MJ, and there's a whole bunch of interactions with that. So it's really not like it really kind of like hops around a lot, and there's like just so much going on that they just couldn't write a really solid ending. Uh, but I will say Scorpion was really cool. For the little bit we got of him, he was really cool. Tombstone literally has like a 1 minute cameo, but I love that it's the guy who played Tobias Whale in Black Lightning, because that dude was perfect for both of those roles. Um, and you get to see, like, they do a bunch of iconic covers, like they did Amazing 15. They do the first Tarantula cover, like in shots, like as they're fighting. The hand, totally not, like, I don't know why they were in this movie at all except to have a ninja fight. That's literally the only reason they were in this movie. Because they did nothing the entire movie until they had a fight scene, and that was it. That was it. Like, it was like, really? Like, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, it was such a weird. It wasn't even like so like. Remember when Jean or Professor Xavier would like take over somebody's mind in the 2000s X-Men movies, like the Bryan Singer movies, like, and it was just like focused on one dude. Even if they jumped around to people, like, it wasn't jarring. It was just like a light switch went off and it just changed over. This is like really jarringly weird how they do this one. But like I said, there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, why did you spend all of that time in the last couple of movies, like, doing this one thing, and now you're just gonna just say fuck it and go back to this other thing? So it's kind of like it was almost like a why did I even watch the previous movie if you were just gonna do this? Except that if in Secret Wars we get like the universe changes out, right?
Yeah.
Which is, I think what they were doing was just going, hey, we're gonna just say mutants exist, like in here versus like in Miss Marvel, because they already said mutants exist. They just haven't shown them in the movies until now, and a couple other small things. And I think they're just gonna go, okay, cool. We're just gonna pick certain things out of this universe and bring them into the next one when we consolidate the universes. And I think that's really what most of this was. It was kind of like a wrap up of this universe movie. At least I kind of hope so, because that's kind of how it felt. But, you know, Sony's got to keep making movies with Marvel to keep their part of the license, so we will see.
I feel like they kind of messed up a little bit. It's I haven't seen the movie. Like I said, I don't plan. I might watch it later, but I was not looking forward to that. I had the feeling that they probably screwed this up a little bit more than they probably.
At least that's how I felt about it. Like I said, I know people that saw it and they loved it. I just personally didn't. It didn't really jive with me. Although I'm not a big Tom Holland fan anyway.
I like him. That's the thing is I actually like him as Spider-Man. I like him better than most of the actors. Like, even compared to Tobey Maguire, like, I kind of like him better.
Well,
Like,
I think
he's not the
I do
issue.
think that he does both Peter and Spider-Man the best. But I thought Tobey Maguire was a better Peter Parker, and I think Andrew Garfield is a better Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what most people think too, is that consensus.
Yeah.
But I think it's just the bad writing. It's They needed to get a movie out, which they could have not done a Spider-Man this year.
Right.
We really didn't need one. Like,
Right.
or if you're going to do Spider-Man anything, just do a TV series. and
Yeah.
they could have made it a little bit. They could have spread it out a little bit, made it better paced. Uh, something like that. Uh, because, like I said, your consensus is basically what I've been reading online. Like non-spoiler stuff. A lot of people were disappointed with this movie.
Yeah.
And
I think
it's
this.
only Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
And so wait till
Right.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh yeah.
I feel like there's going to be some interesting
Yeah.
comments.
I am pretty much just gonna at this point. I'm just gonna tell people just go see it and
Yeah.
make your own judgment because I mean that's really what you should be doing anyway.
Yeah.
You should really listen to my perspective.
No.
But I mean, but if you have similar tastes as me, do it. Like I would definitely still see it in the theater, just because there's something about seeing that stuff on the big screen that just is always going to be great, right? And then if you don't like it, like go to a matinee, right? Go to a matinee if you're not really excited about it. Just go to a matinee, take it in, and then and then if you don't want to watch it again in the theater, just wait till it hits Disney Plus. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I think that seeing it in a theater is key for most of these films. Like you can't not do that, right? Like I don't think there's been a superhero movie that's come out except for I didn't care for the second or for the first animated Spider-Man, so I didn't see the second one. And outside of Spider-Man Noir because that went directed to video. I don't think that there was a superhero movie since Iron Man that I haven't seen in the theater, at least once. Just because it's that's what I love this genre. And I want to see it. Like I even saw Black Widow in the theater, and I fucking hate that character. I don't hate it, but I don't really care for her at all.
I don't think they did her proper.
No, that movie was not well written. That's definitely bottom of the barrel Marvel movies for me.
Well, I feel like that is they missed the boat of if they would have did that movie between Avengers 1, 2, or even 3 while she was still alive.
And 4, technically.
Yeah.
Because 3 was 2 parts, but or 3 or 4, depending on how you. If it came out between 2 or 3 and 4. Like, if it would have came out between Infinity War and Doomsday, that would have been the perfect slot for that.
Yeah. But they didn't do that. They screw up the timeline. Again,
because it would have made her death in Endgame so much more impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it also would have been like, well, we've already kind of passed it off to her sister, so does it really matter that she's dead? So I wonder if that was the idea. So you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't at that point, I think.
Yeah. But then again, it's, the last positive thing I've seen of like original Black Widow was the quickie spot that she had in X-Men 97 there where she tapped Wolverine on the shoulder, where it was her, Cap, and Wolverine there for the Jim Lee spot there.
But that was from the original series though. That was from the original series. Like that episode was in the original series.
Well, it was in the 97 series.
No. They took the chunk of that flashback from that episode though.
No, Black Widow was not involved in that. It was just him and Cap. Because it was during World War II. That was a World War II flashback because it was before Wolverine had claws. So
you might be right. It's been a while since I've watched.
Yeah, the whole emphasis of that episode was Wolverine looking back and at a gravestone of what was it? The scientist he was supposed to rescue in World War II.
Oh, that's right. I thought that was it though. I thought it was like they were like him and Black Widow did a thing and he was having flashbacks during the episode and then at the end Cap shows up. But him and Black Widow were already talking about the like he was telling that story to her that whole episode. I thought that's what that was.
I think that's what the comic was. I think that's what that was. If I remember right, that issue, I think that's what that
Right.
was them talking about, because they were all in Madripoor, I think.
Hmm.
They all met up in
Well, I thought they were
Madripoor.
in London or something, but whatever.
It's always something in Madripoor. Like, if you have to
It's
meet up
Wolverine. It's in
Wolverine,
Madripoor for
it's
sure.
either
Yeah.
Madripoor or the Canadian woods.
Right. You're not wrong. So,
But
but
yeah, ah, it's a shame that their timing is. I thought they were writing the ship, but one of the comic influencers, I forget his name, as he's watching X-Men 97, he's like, it's actually ruining your perspective on the movies, because how can they do X-Men 97 so well, but they keep screwing up the movies, or they're not
well,
not doing
yeah,
it.
but the way I have to look at it is the X-Men animated series and X-Men 97 jacked up a lot of storylines.
Oh, it did.
So, and
They
the movies do the same. So I take it as the same.
Yeah,
So it's just
but I
the
think it's more accepted in the animated series because people are like, well, you only have a half-hour window. You
right,
can't put all that stuff we read into a half-hour window.
right.
Now, if X-Men the animated series was an hour long, which I wouldn't complain
Well, they've
about.
done some two-part episodes and
Yeah,
stuff. So yeah, yeah.
yeah. They do that
But
too. Like they did the whole Phoenix saga pretty much verbatim. Like
yeah.
for the most part. Like I'm sure there are a couple missed scenes here and there, but for most part, it was verbatim of exactly the way.
Mm,
For the most, like I said, most part.
it was like 80%
Yeah,
correct.
yeah. There
Yeah.
was like 20% of the boring shit that's like, you
Rise
know,
of Apocalypse was the same way that they just did. So,
yeah,
but
yeah,
anyway, all right, we're taking this thing way too long.
yeah.
So, all right. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Go see Spider-Man. Make your own judgment.
Mhm.
I pretty much put it middle of the road. Because there were some really cool like parts, but for the most part, I was just kind of let down at the end. But anyway, make sure you buy some stuff at your local comic shop. Come see us at a show this weekend in North Olmsted, Ohio, at Neo Comic Con. Go
Yes.
see Todd at Pulp Fest up in
Okay.
Cranberry all weekend, and